That painting that was in that room, who is that? Is that of her?
Yes, the lady in the red hat is Mary Lou. The lady in the black bonnet is her mother Frances, and then of course the gentleman was her father Boyce. This is the chapel. This is where the family hosted weddings. There's a picture of the first flower girl for the first wedding to the left here. There's a picture of Mary Lou and her mother sitting at the front of the fireplace as well. Really, the only interesting thing in here is the organ to the right-hand side, because Mary Lou purchased it because of its background story. It comes from Tombstone, Arizona. The lady who owned it was known as the Chocolate Widow because she had married men who had worked in the mines at the time, and then after getting bored of them, she'd bake them a chocolate cake and lace it with cyanide poison.
Oh, goodness.
Husband passes, she's not suspected of a thing due to the fact that it was not uncommon at the time, so she would inherit their money eventually. She would then plan to give half of the inheritance to the church. Eventually the church sees her as a very kind and giving woman. They give her the organ. She's never caught. She confesses to her crimes on her deathbed. By then it's already too late to do anything about it. She's already getting ready to pass. She had gotten through 3 or 4 husbands at that point.
Wow.
So she never married or had kids or anything?
Married, never had children. She married in her late 50s. Husband and her eventually had a few disagreements on what they wanted to do with the home. They went their separate ways. He passed 2 to 3 years prior to her passing in 2010. There is one small step here once you guys decide to come over. This room is simply known as Purgatory because it sits in between our chapel and the bar. There's 2 steps in the entrance of the bar. That first one's a little bit bigger than the second one.
All right.
And she lived here.
Yes, up until 3 to 4 months before she passed in November of 2010.
This is pretty awesome.
And she was the tour guide up until the mid-2000s as well.
Did you ever meet her?
Yes, my family's been on-site caretaker since 1980 here, so I got to
Nice.
grow up around her in the home.
That's awesome.
Still haven't seen everything though. I still find new stuff all the time. So this is as much light as those skylights from upstairs provide in this room. Wishing wells behind this large brown shelf in the back. Half an old wooden wagon which was placed before the patio / roof went up. That was of course used as a drinking station. 2 beds on the back wall. There are bunks for the drunks. That's where you would have slept if you were too drunk to go home. Once you guys are done looking around in here, join me by the entrance and I'll tell you about the trapdoor underneath the alligator.
Oh, okay.
If you have any questions, I'm just right out here, guys.
Okay.